Habari Gani, everybody. Habari Gani.
Moja, habari gani?
Yes.
Moja.
Today is a very, very special day. We are pleased to announce the official launch party of the National Black Council of Elders. Let's give them a round of applause. Woohoo! Yes.
All right.
Woohoo!
Congratulations.
Ashe, Asheo.
Asheo. And also, we will be celebrating Kwanzaa throughout this event, teaching people who don't know about Kwanzaa what Kwanzaa entails. And some of us are very familiar with Kwanzaa, so please feel free to chime in as well. Let's get started with our official program. Today is day one, Umoja, which is Unity Day. Again, welcome to our official launch of the National Black Council of Elders and our Kwanzaa celebration. I am Queen Mother Nina Womack. I will be your event host. I'm the Director of Media Relations and Branding for the National Black Council of Elders. I also have a multimedia company that is global in nature called Transmedia 360. It is here in Los Angeles, and also we have an office in Lagos, Nigeria. I am a Pan-Africanist and installed Queen Mother in Ghana. And my mission is to use the arts, use the media to tell our stories, our Pan-African stories. I have a degree in Black history and also in theater. So I am so honored to be the Director of Media and Branding for the National Black Council of Elders. This is very, very important to me because the elders have so much wisdom and knowledge and spirituality and everything. So we must embrace them. We must uplift them and uphold the wisdom that the elders have. And that is why I have taken it upon myself to do this event for the elders as a gift of my love and appreciation for them. Ashe. So we are going to start our program with the opening ceremony libations performed by Queen Mother Imaku, who is also a founding member of the National Black Council of Elders.
Giving thanks, and so very, very grateful to be here today. And in starting this ceremony, I would like to say on behalf of the National Black Council of Elders, when talking with our presiding elder, Wali Wukaba Ila, we were talking about the decision that was made in starting this. During the pandemic, there were so many of our elders who were lost, and so much wisdom that was lost when they left. There is an African saying that when an elder dies, a library dies with them. And so the significance of starting the National Black Council of Elders was in order to preserve legacy and to preserve heritage and to be able to pass this on as a gift to our community. And so in doing this, let us start with libation in honoring our elders. Generally, I do the Kemetic libation that we do in our temple, Shenu Meru Nechem temple, Kemetic water temple, but it is Kwanzaa. And so I'm going to blend the traditional libation that is done during Kwanzaa along with ours. This is from the very first book that I had from when I started celebrating Kwanzaa in 1989. The Kwanzaa, Everything You Always Wanted to Know But Didn't Know Where to Ask book by Cedric McClester, who I understand now has become an ancestor. The libation statement. For the motherland, cradle of civilization, for the ancestors and their indomitable spirit, for the elders for whom we can learn much, for our youth who represent the promise for tomorrow, for our people, the original people, and our struggle, and in remembrance of those who have struggled on our behalf, for Umoja, the principle of unity, which should guide us in all that we do, for the Creator who provides all things, great and small.
Ashe.
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 I'm using
Ashe.
the original Unity Cup, Kikombe cha Umoja, that I've used since 1989.
Ashe.
In the Kemetic tradition, Imsheratu, which means to the ancestors. Degasnu, we follow your footsteps. Duau, many thanks to you. Erchenuku, you give us light. Ernuku, we give you light. Sechnu kebu, we pour libation.
Yes.
Ishkanu, we remember you. Teru renuetunu, we speak your names. And now, as I pour, let us speak the names of our ancestors, those who have gone before, beginning with the maternal side, and respect to our mothers. As I begin pouring, call the names, speak the names.
Wesley and Julia Jenkins.
William Mark Francis,
Sally Mary and Mary.
Mildred Saunders.
James Tuesday.
Ashe. Going to the paternal. Ashe.
Christopher Elam,
Gail Penny.
Ashe.
Julia May Robinson,
Ashe.
Rita Garland
Ashe.
Disraeli.
Larry Knight, William Knight,
Finesse.
Willie
Eddie
Knight,
Benson.
Cornelius
Ashe.
Knight.
Lindell Casimir.
Ashe. And now, all of the freedom fighters, they are not blood to us, but they are our kin because they have done for us, because we stand on their shoulders, because they have done for us. Let us speak the names. Ashe.
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 Alhaji
Ashe.
Shabbat.
Ashe. Malcolm X.
Ashe.
Muhammad.
Ashe.
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 Nanny of the Maroons,
Ashe. Ashe.
Ashe.
And one last one. Speak the
Toulouse
names.
and LaJour,
Ashe.
Haiti,
Ashe.
Mother Ocean Dara. Ashe. Kwanzaa.
Stephen Pickle.
And now,
Queen Mother Ocean Dara. Ashe.
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 we say
Ashe.
thank you to all who have gone before.
I'm
Because you
celebrating.
were, we are. And at the end of this ceremony, I will take this and go outside and pour it into a
I'm on
tree.
Zoom on a
We are
Kwanzaa
part of
celebration
a
going on
mighty
on
tree
Zoom.
whose roots are
Ashe.
deep and whose branches reach
Libation
high.
for our
We are also part
ancestors.
of the river of
I'm at a
ancestors.
Kwanzaa meeting
Because of the
on
fact
Zoom.
that the river flows, it is part of us. We are grateful for this day. We are grateful for the fact that when we leave here, we are part of the legacy that goes forth. And because of everything that we pour into the youth, our legacy will stand
Ashe.
and continue. Everyone,
Ashe.
ashe,
Ashe.
ashe,
Ashe. Ashe.
ashe,
Ashe.
Asheo.
Very
Very powerful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's get back. That was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Sanbonani and African greetings to you, family. I am Dr. Bababuntu. I am sending you love and respect on behalf of Ebukosini Solutions, an African-centered company based in Igoli, Johannesburg, South Africa, Azania. We work with young people, we work with communities, and we dedicate ourselves to relearning what it means to be African today. It is my greatest pleasure and honor to send you our warmest congratulations and blessings of honor on this very occasion of the launch of the National Black Council of Elders. We really stand for you and with you in your very important task to guide us, to support us, and to be for us. I personally want to thank the incredible work of Chief Mwalimu Kabaila for his years and years and years and years of dedication to the African nation. This means so much to us. It's a great inspiration. As we know, being African-centered and choosing to live an African life every single day, it's not easy in a world that is deeply Eurocentric and very oppressive to the African being everywhere in the world. We are at the season of Kwanzaa, a festival and a ceremony that in Azania also has its own roots, and it's named in many different ways. It's named as Umkosi, Inqwala, Lomo, Tebura, Inqwala. There are many different ways of pronouncing the harvest festival in many different parts of the continent. As NBCOE Solutions, we are celebrating Kwanzaa for the 21st time, and we have been so inspired by the work that has been done in the diaspora around this particular festival, and it has really helped us to also bring back the very important traditions that exist here in the southern part of the continent, but also across the whole continent. We are aware that there are many, many, many festivals that Kwanzaa has built on, which also include Jemprem and Homowo from Ghana, and Ikore and Onwosato, which are celebrated in Nigeria, or what we today call Nigeria. For us, Kwanzaa and this celebration of the harvest and the first fruits is not just a celebration. For us, it is really a momentous reflection of who we are as African people. What have we achieved as African people? What should we have achieved better? What should we have done and dedicated ourselves to more? And what are we doing to prepare ourselves for the next season so that we really can stand and be counted as revolutionary leaders of a movement where we are walking towards emancipation? I want to take this opportunity to send, on behalf of all the great people that I'm surrounded by here in Azania, to send you love and strength as you keep working for African presence, African liberation, African power every single day. We love you, we honor you, we need you. Elders must stand for our youth. Our youth are finally ready. We see this across the continent. We see this across the diaspora. But I would say, look to the continent specifically now. So many young people are standing up. So many young people are at the right place. And it's important to support them because many of our young people do not have the support. I want us to be very honest that many of us as elders haven't done what we're supposed to. We keep pointing fingers and we keep complaining about young people. But were we there for them? Did we really guide them? Or did we just preach to them? Did we just call them out? Did we just criticize them? Because I think a lot of our young people feel that's what we are good at. So I am so proud and so honored to see the formation of the National Black Council of Elders. And I wish you all the best as you keep standing for our youth and our children. These are our seeds of liberation. If they don't learn, if they don't change, our future will not even happen, at least not on our terms. And I want it to happen on our terms. This is the time of Africa. This is us standing up for us. And thank you for standing for us. We stand for you, and together we stand for each other. Matunda ya Kwanzaa. Harambe.
Yay.
Ashe, Ashe,
Ashe.
Ashe, Ashe.
That's nice.
Yeah, I say.
A people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. That's a quote from Marcus Garvey, one of our ancestors. The National Black Council of Elders is a collective of concerned elders from the United States who have come together to network, share wisdom and knowledge to help our communities grow stronger. We function as an advisory board, offering guidance and leadership on issues such as whole person health, spirituality, youth development, education, and social issues affecting our communities. In the spirit of Umoja, unity, we honor our African heritage. Ashe.
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 Now, I am pleased to present our founding elders. So let's welcome our presiding elder, Chief Mwalamu Kabaila, to the stage. Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe.
Ashe.
And then followed by Special Advisor Queen Mother
Ashe.
Maskila Thomas.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Barigani family.
Baragani.
Yes, Father.
I know y'all can do better than that. A Barigani family.
Moja.
All right. Today is a momentous day for us. We've been working on this for 2 years now, and I hope you can bear with me. I won't be long, but I did want to make a few comments just as introductory to the National Black Council of Elders, because many of you here have put in so much work over these last 2 years. And actually, it's been close to the 4 years. Some of you have been with us for 4 years, but we had an interruption, and we decided to start back building from the ground up. Let me just say, what generated this movement in my spirit was the Jenna and Trayvon Martin students. In their protests, they raised the question, where are our elders? This took me back to when I started as a 20-year-old student leader, and we had the benefit of such elders as Over Tashaka, Jake Carruthers, Maulana Karenga, Asa Hilliard. And today we live in an era of African restoration, which, as the fifth principle of Kwanzaa, Nia, purpose, is about restoring our people to their traditional greatness. Today, the NBCOE, the National Black Council of Elders, launches this dynamic and engaging institution to assume our role and responsibility in this process of community and nation building. We thank all of you who have come to wish us well on this launch and journey. Our objectives are few and many at the same time. We basically have 2 or 3 main objectives starting out. Our primary objective is to build local council of elders. Secondly, we wish to develop and institute cultural rituals which reinforce community and nation building as clear alternatives to the dominant society's attempt at culture. But we are not limited to these goals, so that when our youth ask the next time, where are our elders, we will be ready to respond with resources such as our keynote speaker today, Dr. Nikita Imani, whose guidance we are called on for. Thus, the Council of Elders is not just for elders. One of our primary goals is to institute a standardized rites of passage program for not only our youth, but with a Pan-African scope, so that all African youth may benefit from a consistent cultural-based curriculum. And as you saw in the video that Queen Mother Nina played of our brother, and he's my spiritual brother from South Africa, Baba Buntu, we move on the same path. We work with our youth because we know they are the future. We invite churches, mosques, student groups, community groups, and all with resources for us in the nation building effort. For those who say this is a monumental task, if you know my history, I was trained in the organization which started Kwanzaa, which started in a 1-bedroom apartment in Los Angeles, South Los Angeles, with 150 people. Today, it is celebrated by over 60 million on all 7 continents. So I don't recognize any task as too large when it demonstrates value to our community building. Lastly, let me thank those who got us here starting nearly 2 years ago. I just want to recognize them because I have such love for this group of elders who have stayed with us in this formation committee and met twice a month on the first and third Sunday of each month to get us to this point. First, I have to recognize my 2 Queen Mothers who actually gave me initial support, guidance, and vision in building the National Black Council of Elders from the foundation of the proposal that I presented to them. And I'm talking about Chief Queen Mother Wakila and Queen Mother Mastela, both of whom are a part of the Wichita Council of Elders. And I believe it's called the Wichita American Council of Elders. They can correct me if I'm wrong. But they were the ones that really got me started in this and gave me the initial support. And as a result, we teamed with the Wichita Council of Elders in this process, and they supported us every way along the way. I also have to recognize from the Wichita Council of Elders, Prophet Anyanwu, who represented a healing force within the council. On every third Sunday, we had a healing circle, which was led by not only Prophet Anyanwu, but also Queen Mother Leona from Denver, Colorado, and Dr. Anthony Hamilton, who is the past president of the Association for Black Psychologists. And that healing circle was a very much of a support for us in this whole process, because it gave us a sense of unity. It acted to heal some of the wounds that we recognize from what is called post-traumatic slave syndrome. It helped us to overcome, it united us, and gave us the strength and stamina to last these 2 years in putting this process together. So I want to especially thank our healing circle. In addition, I have a special place in my heart for Brother Mosley, who came on board and gave us such steadfast guidance and direction based on his administrative knowledge and his involvement in the movement. He's been involved in the movement almost as long as I have, and but he has always been steadfast in giving us strong guidance in terms of how we should move forward, and I really appreciate his work, and I always keep him in mind as we move forward and as we make decisions. Also, I want to thank Brother Dave from Baltimore, who has a paper there. Hopefully he can announce his paper before we terminate today. But I don't want to speak too long. I want to recognize everyone that stayed with us. And I'm going to ask my Queen Mothers to assist me. And let me just say this also. I mentioned Queen Mother Leona, who is very special to us. She has been with us from the very start. But her sister, Sandra, from I think it's Huntsville, Alabama, made her transition yesterday. She is here with us today. And I would like to take the liberty of dedicating this launch to Sister Sandra, the sister of Queen Mother Leona. We would like to dedicate this launch to her sister, as she has come, Queen Mother Leona has come to join us today, even after her sister has made transition. So I just want to give that recognition. One moment.
Ashe.
Okay, in close, let me say this, and I say this passionately. We are the fathers and mothers of human civilization and have it within our power to transform the world for good, as our Kemetic and Yoruba ancestors have admonished us. We did not come here to be taught by the world, but in fact to teach the world. We promise and commit on this day to build something of beauty and value worthy of our divine ancestors. This is our time to step back on the stage of human history as free, proud, and productive people, and the National Black Council of Elders, as of this historic and monumental day, this sacred ground where our ancestors sacrificed that we should be here, begin to make our humble contribution to reconstruct and restore our human dignity and respect as part of the African global community. Ashe, Ashe, Asheyo, Harambe, Harambe. Thank you, son.
Thank you so much, Chief Kabaila, presiding elder, for that presentation and that welcome. Very, very powerful words. So next we are going to move on to hear more about the National Council of Elders. And so we will bring on our Chief Elder, Brother Mosey.
Bargani all. Bargani.
Bargani.
Organi.
All right, Moja Bargani.
Moja.
Yes. So good to be here with you. I'd like to give thanks to all of you for being here. In particular, presiding elder Kabaila. We've come to interact and I think have mutual respect and love for one another, and also deep appreciation for our commitment to our people over time. So certainly want to honor him, Queen Mother Wakila, Queen Mother Maas, Queen Mother Nina Womack, doing such a fantastic job with this particular program, but also with many others in supporting us. Asante Sana to all of you. My task is to just talk a little bit about the role of elders, and it's been touched on actually already several times over the course of the presentation, but over the course of the program. But I'd love just to reiterate and highlight what the role of elders, what we have, what we offer, and then our role within the community. And these ideas are part of the foundation and set the stage for the work of the National Black Council of Elders. So first and foremost, elders have deep experience, and in addition to that, they operate out of a value base that requires service and care within the community. And those are essential elements, and they expand in almost every way to touch others in the community, to enrich the elder, to connect with the ancestors, We have to remember and recognize that within the spectrum of life, the ancestors, the elders are the closest to the ancestors and closest generally to another realm, to a spirit realm. And in that place of proximity to the ancestors and to the spirit world, and our own ability to reflect on our lives, what we've come through, what all those various stages of development has been, that reflection, that experience combined with service and practice, dedication, really hones the resource that elders can offer back to the community. So the National Black Council of Elders and the local Council of Elders really serve as a resource to help shape those resources, to help shape that experience and connect it with other parts of the family, the village, and the community broadly. Kabila mentioned the rites of passage, which is it's going to be one of the premier activities that we take on, calling upon a broad number of community members to help come together and codify a process that can be standardized and presented across the country, across the United States and even beyond, in a standard way so that we have a standard practice.
Ashe.
Yeah, so important. And establishing that foundation is just the beginning of how to inspire our youth, how to direct and guide our young parents to be parents, how to nurture the whole life stream and life system through various stages so that we become stronger, healthier, more consistent, more creative, and take our place as the inspirers of humanity. So this is part of our mission, part of our goal, to put ourselves in a place where we can cultivate our own strengths and then share those strengths with others, with our youth, with our other brothers and sisters, anyone who needs guidance, and to celebrate the beauty of all of that together. So with that, I will step aside. I believe Queen Mother Maas is going to come forward and talk to us a little bit about local council of elders and how to establish them. Ashe.
Ashe. Thank you. So
Ashe.
Queen Mother Mas and Queen Mother Wakila.
Go ahead, Queen Mother Wakila.
Okay, well, welcome everyone. And I am so happy and thrilled that this day has finally come. And I'm sure that our presiding elder, she really knows what I'm talking about. But I want to do a graceful correction. He actually started having us to come together as a national 4 years ago, and maybe more, but we've been on this. This is the second endeavor that this brother has continued to push forward because he saw the value in it based on what he experienced here in Wichita, Kansas, Little Midwest.
That's right.
And he continued to see how important it was and kept coming back and saying, we really got to do this, Queen Mother. And I said, well, okay, let's do this. But I want to also recognize Queen Mother Francesca, because she was in that first group of those who wanted to see this happen. And probably some of you others, like Brother Senghor and others, have been with us for quite some time wanting to see this day come true. So I am so happy that we stuck to it for 2 years, and I'm so honored that my presiding elder has requested that I become the chief queen mother, which I agreed to because of who he is and who he has been throughout this entire endeavor. So I want to always bring honor to Brother Kabiela, our presiding elder, for all the work and his consistency. So I am Wakila Martinez. I am the administrator of the African American Council of Elders in South Central Kansas, which is also the original Council of Elders here in Wichita. It was founded in 2001. The African American Council of Elders, Wichita, Sedgwick County, is a collective made up of concerned elders from our community who have come together for the express purpose of sharing what we've seen and learned to help our community grow stronger. We act as a community convener and coalition builder, and as an advisory board offering guidance and leadership on issues affecting our community. We formed in the middle of the crack epidemic based on a community call for our elders to get involved with helping to craft solutions. And thus, we began over 20 years ago. Last year, we celebrated our 20th year, but because of the pandemic, we didn't make a big deal out of it because our elders are still pretty much at home and staying out of the craziness. But just to tell you a little bit about what we've done in 20 years, we often have roundtables. In this past year, we finally able to bring some of the elders out, and we did a retreat. And one of that was to remember all of the activities over the 20 years. So we had original founding elders there, and we had our scribes there who have been with us for a while now. We participated with local elementary schools over the last 20 years. We were consistent in our neighborhood school because many of our children are being bused someplace else out of our community. But we chose one school and we stayed dedicated to going in once a week to do reading, math, and so forth with the children in our school. We have actually members of our council belong to over 60 other different organizations within the community itself. So some of those are Black nurses who are very active, and one of our elders and founders has been really the health person in our community and with us. And then she asked the other Black nurses to create a way for them to get involved with the COVID epidemic and do all kinds of activities, testing, the shots, and just about everything. And most of these ladies are retired nurses, but that's our Black Nurses Association. We hosted a radio show on KSUN, in which our presiding elders came together and talked about issues in our community. We led a community cleanup to improve our community health. We do roundtables as much as we possibly could around all of the commissions. We had commissions. And so we used each month or each roundtable to bring something forward. In a lot of ways, our youth come to us with these issues and ask us to come together and create a way to have discussions and begin to get I'm not going to say advisory because we actually show up with you. And so after the death of these young people, our youth wanted to act out and they got in trouble and they came to us and we forwarded an entire roundtable. And that's when we established several other projects within the community. And from that retreat or that roundtable came forward in Butu Village School, by which the Council of Elders here continued to work to have a Saturday school, which is still going. Holy Savior Academy decided they would host it and take it up. And now it's been probably 4 or 5 years, and that school is still in existence. We also hosted an intergenerational digital elders workshop. We found that our elders were not being able to keep up with the other world. And so we did an entire weekend workshop with Dr. Shani out of LA, and got our elders back in place. And we probably need to do another one. Within the context of that, she brought forward the importance of our history and using the digital resources to continue to talk about who we are and who we have been. During the pandemic, we were awarded a 250, or was it 500? It was a large amount of money. The Council of Elders organized and distributed that money within our community, looking at health and wellness, used a lot of media to bring forward information so that we could, the purpose of it was to bring down the fear aspect of this, tell the truth, give the right information to people in terms of what was really going on nationally. And I think we only gave back like 20,000 of it. We really couldn't spend it all. We also included in that project, bringing in the Black psychologists' work. We had them to do workshops with our others who are in the health industry so they could better understand the issues and health issues and mental issues that were happening to our community, because we all know who get hit the worst. And so we did so many things with that money that I think that we made, we really closed a lot of gaps when it came to information sharing and getting out there. We've done a lot, and I'm going to finalize with one of my favorite projects. The African American Council of Elders in Wichita were honored to become an indigenous member of the Yilo Krobo tribe in Ghana. We are in our second year of working through all of that. Our king was here lately to go through the US and meet the people that we know, so that he understands who we are as a council. And we had him to travel to Tuskegee to also get involved in some projects down there. We want to see several aspects. We are the lead organization for the Historic Black Towns and Settlement Project, in which we are looking for all of the settlements and Black settlements and homes and towns that were owned and established by Black folk in the United States. And as a result of that, at a conference, it was initiated that they want to see a council of elders in all of the post-slave states. And so there is an actual movement right now from a lot of people involved in historic Black towns to establish a council of elders in their area, but they felt that it was very important that we establish these councils in these Black towns and in these Black spaces, so that the elders can really bring forward a movement to save our Black spaces.
So I just want to tell you about the Council of Elders Startup Kits at no cost that the Wichita Council, through the partnership with the National Black Council, is offering to communities that are interested in starting your own council. You can find more information about it on our NBCOE website or our local council website, and you'll get the email address to those at some point during this presentation. Applications for those are going to be accepted until January 30th, and kits will begin going out during Black History Month. Hopefully Black History Month will be a good time for you to begin soliciting your community about their interest in such a thing. The kits are limited, but other technical support is available through the National Black Council of Elders as needed, as well as the Wichita Council via our web portal and resources clearinghouse. And you'll get the link to that website as well. We hope that you'll consider the benefits of building your own Council of Elders soon.
Greetings. Assalamu alaikum. Ma'at Hotep. I am Queen Mother Leona Abdullah. I'm the daughter of Claudia May Blythe and Leon Eccles Blythe. I grew up on the west side of Chicago in the projects. There, I was fed breakfast by the Black Panthers. My biggest mentor, other than Claudia May Blythe, was Muhammad Ali. He taught me how to speak up. I became a member of the Council of Elders after studying for many years about religion, spirituality. What is it? With the National Black Council of Elders, I found where I can fit, where I could help within our society to help us grow as a people. One of the things my mom always stated was about how great we were as a people. And as I studied more, the more I studied, the more I learned, and the prouder I felt, and the more I held my head up. I feel like with the Council of Elders, like doing the movie, The Color Purple, when after Oprah Winfrey came back from prison and she stated at the table, all right now, I'm back. Some changes getting to happen. I feel as though the Council of Elders is beginning. We're getting ready to see a new world order. And I hope you come along with us. Ashe.
Abaragani. My name is Baba Senghor Jawara Baye Haru, and I am the first Assistant President General of RSC 2020, which is the UNIAACL Government of the World. I'm formerly a President General, but I'm so happy to be one of the Council of Elders. And very briefly, Abaragani. Kwanzaa is a very important time. Over 50 million Africans around the world are celebrating it. Kwanzaa is a time for us to respect our elders, study our ancestors, be true to our faith, whatever that may be, and to work collectively to take us back to our traditional greatness. The National Council of Elders has come together to try to help formulate a structured moving forward for our young people, ourselves, and Africans at home and abroad. So I say a Baragani to you all, have a prosperous Kwanzaa, and believe me, we need the Council of Elders, the National Council of Elders.
Abaragani brothers and sisters, my name is Mosi Kitwana. I'm one of the elders who has contributed to the formation of the National Black Council of Elders, and as a part of our launch ritual for the National Black Council of Elders, we have, as elders, as members of the community with longevity and experience and some insights, we've been asked to whisper a lesson or a gem of wisdom to generations coming behind us and even to generations yet unborn. So my whisper is to those to know yourself. Know yourself in relation to others. In South Africa, the Zulu say Sawubona. They also say Ubuntu. These are concepts. Sawubona. We see you. We honor you. And Ubuntu, I am because we are. They speak to our collective love, honor, and respect for one another and for all that surround us. And so my whisper to you is Ubuntu Sawubona.
Some of our additional elders, Queen Mother Abena, we have Chief Elder Haru, Queen Mother Francesca. There's so many elders who are vital to this organization and too many to list in this short time, but we honor them and we see them. Sabona.
Ashe, ashe.
Now for our keynote speaker. This is going to be very, very powerful, and let's welcome Dr. Nikita Imani. Brother Kabaila, if you have a few words to say about Dr. Imani.
I am anxious to hear our speaker. We have had discussions with Dr. Imani for a number of years on I'm not sure if it was Facebook or another platform, but we've had some really great discussions. I'm not sure to what extent people know about Dr. Imani, but I just felt the need to bring him because his work actually helped to transform my whole philosophical thinking because of the work that he has done on traditional philosophy, traditional African philosophy, and how it can be used as a model for us to follow. So without further ado, Dr. Nikita Okembe Ra Imani is professor and former chair of Black Studies at the University of Nebraska. He is now on the graduate faculty at Medical Humanities at the university. But without further ado, Dr. Nikita Imani, welcome.
Thank you. Habadagani, brothers and sisters. There is no greater honor than being present with all of you. I want to start in our traditional way. And this is kind of, for those of you who might not be as experienced with the elders, one of the things that the elders have to do is to make sure that the way with the capital W is prepared for what it is that the people are going to be exposed to. And therefore, you don't speak without getting permission from the elders. The elders do an assessment as to whether what it is that you have to say is going to be an asset or a detriment to the community. So in my proper order, I'm going to ask my elder, our collective presiding elder, Brother Kabiila, for permission to proceed.
Asante, and I'm going to defer to my Queen Mother, my Chief Queen Mother, Wakila.
Definitely, please.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my sister. Thank you, distinguished elders. So what I have here is just a brief set of notes to guide me. First, I want to greet you again, Habadagani. Honor, of course, to the creator, the architect of the universe. Honor to our ancestors, the he, she's that have prepared the way for us. Honor to our elders who are here today and those who are not represented here today, but who are present in the spirit and the life of our community. It is my privilege to serve you and the people who have been brought forth. I want to honor you by saying that you're engaged in the most important work of modern times. And that is the resurrection and rise of African people, because African people, as the architects of civilization, as the architects of humanity, are also the source of the power and the resources and the resurrection of humanity as a whole. And so our rise and resurrection is central to the rise and resurrection of humanity. In fact, the principles of humanity themselves. We have the resources, the people, and the power. The next is our consciousness. There is a ancient North African proverb that says, how do you make a god a slave? How do you make a god a slave? And of course, that's a bit of a trick question because normally it would be impossible to make a god, an all-powerful being, to be a slave. And however, the answer to that question, the elder presented to the initiates, was that get the god or goddess to think themselves a slave. There is no greater power than you thinking that you're a slave.
Yes.
In fact, I need no chains, I need no barricades, I need nothing against you. For if you think that you are a slave, you will apply every single aspect of your spiritual, mental, and physical being to that process of being a slave, and a good slave, and a noble slave, and a well-behaved slave.
Yes.
And when you do the same thing to a community, you have made a community of slaves with slave consciousness and slave minds. Now, so that's where I begin. Now, when we start there, we have had a number of our scholars that have done battle with the slave mentality. My first mentor I want to bring is ancestor John Henry Clark, who said that we have to stop the parochial rehearsal of power. You can have power or you can rehearse power. What's the difference between having power and rehearsed power? Well, obviously, if you have power, it's something you possess and then you apply for your good or the collective good of your people. But now you can rehearse power. I can give you titles and I can stand you on stage and I can hand you a microphone and I can give you cameras and I can give you the illusion that you have power, but you're not able to change your circumstances. Ultimately, the measure of power is whether or not you can change the circumstances positively for you and the masses of your people. Dr. Maulana Karenga, the father of the Nguzu Saba, which we celebrate now, he is critical because he taught us how to weaponize our culture.
Yes.
Weaponize our culture. Now, I want to point out to you that normally when you say weaponize, folks get scared and they say that's something bad, right? Because weaponize means you're going to hurt somebody. But you have to understand that for a people that are under attack by a global system of white supremacy and Eurocentrism, they have to fight back. And so then weaponizing is not about oppressing someone else, but weaponizing is about really operationalizing what you have for your own sustenance and your own survival. Dr. Asa Hilliard said, we're not going to have a revolution if we don't have any institutions. He wasn't the only one to say this, but he was one of many to say we have to build institutions. I spent a lot of my time studying our revolutionary work in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. I grew up as a junior Panther and I worked my way into many of the other organizations. And I found that while we built, quite often we did not build in the African way. We built in our oppressor's way. And as Audre Lorde said, you can't use the master's tools to deconstruct the master's house. That even if you use them well, ultimately you're going to end up reconstructing the slave master's house. So some of us went out to build schools and we built a, if you will, blackicized version of a white school.
Come on.
And it ended up having the same problems again because it turns out there's something about a seed. The very essential nature of a seed means that whatever plant emerges from that seed is in fact going to reflect that particular kind of plant, that particular seed. So no matter how much I plant, maybe I plant string beans, it's going to come up as string beans. I can try to be as creative as I want, but the nature of it is string beans. So sometimes the nature of what we were doing was actually creating Eurocentric institutions, only blackicized versions of Eurocentric institutions, and those were never going to work for us.
That's right.
So I devoted my life, Dr. Clark told us who's going to pick up the work. I answered him and said, I will. And the work that I set myself to was the building of institutions. How do we build political and social and educational institutions in our way to sustain ourselves? That's why I'm so happy today to see the advent of this council and what it's going to do, because I believe it will not only serve us in terms of resurrecting the role of elders, but also set us up for the institution building that we need. Rites of passage is obviously one of the most central, but we need to begin our own institutions. Self-determination is the only way for self-preservation, as I've often said. So if you look at the slide here, you'll see that I have Mayat in the center. And I want to talk about Mayat because people talk about Mayat in terms of a principle, but it's not just a principle. It is a proof in practice. You may have heard the term, younger brothers and sisters say, conceptualize and manifest. Right? Conceptualize and manifest. Conceptualize is to bring it forth in the consciousness, your spiritual consciousness, your mental consciousness. I can conceptualize a whole bunch of stuff. But have you ever seen people conceptualize stuff? And I'm talking about Black Negro leadership, excuse me. But the Negro leadership conceptualizes a whole lot of stuff, but we don't see anything, do we? And that's the problem, that at some point, conceptualization is directly connected to manifestation. You have to actually instill and carry out the variables that you say you believe in. Another way of saying this is, if it is to be, it must be me. I must embody that which I say I believe.
Yes.
So Mayat is not just an abstract principle in which I believe. I must embody Mayat. I must employ Mayat. I must reflect Mayat in the essence of my being and everything that I do and say and so forth and so on. And you will see here in this little diagram that this constitutes an order, starting with the Creator. The Creator puts this order in place. This is the order at the beginning of time. This is the order at the beginning of things. This is the order at the dawn of the creation of our people. And that order is reflected, if you look on the other side, with nature. It's reflected in the nature of things, which is why African people are always connected to nature and the environment. And much of the behavior and what you see in the African community is going to be structured by the nature of the environment in which you situate them. If I put you in a prison, you will ultimately don a prison mentality. If I put you in a situation of deprivation, you will ultimately operate with that sense of deprivation. So then if you want to modify the behavior and the nature and the characteristic of a people, you must therefore modify their environment and the circumstances that they're in, which leads us to that third principle, social justice. We must bring about equilibrium and balance in our relationships, our individual relationships with each other, our relationships between elders and youth, our relationships between our economic resources and our purchasing behavior. All of these things must be in balance. We are a people of balance. In fact, that whole term dis-ease implies a disequilibrium or an imbalance that has been established. The nature of the system, the rationalizing system in which we live, is designed to introduce imbalance. Quite often, they don't have to do any kind of frontal attack. We all worry about that. But it's actually the insidious attack that makes you question your own culture, that makes you question your own being. That's where the damage is done, because that introduces the disequilibrium. And at the individual level, after you've established social principles of justice, you have the individual living according to truth. We believe a lot of myths. And the much of the social change and progress that people have talked about quite often has been mythic, in the sense that it taught us values that were not only not our own, but were not truthful. For example, no group of people or no other individual can give you freedom. You will not get freedom from someone else. There's no bill that anyone can draft that's going to give you freedom. Freedom is a quantity, a characteristic of the divine human being that is simply exercised. When you think freedom needs to be given by others or their bills or their actions or their inactions, and that your destiny is somehow determined by them, you have already relinquished your freedom. No one else can give it to you, and you've actually given it to them, thinking that they can allocate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, elders. Why are elders important? Elders are, and I'm going to use this term in no way disrespectful, elders are the glue. And they're the glue, they're the cement, they're the core. If you don't have elders and you don't have respect for elders and a position for elders, then everything else, to use that kind of moniker, falls apart. The elders, first of all, are the proof in practice. Their very existence, their very experience, the knowledge that they have accumulated from their interaction with us is the repository of our culture and our principles that we need to share with our young, with others. We cannot replicate what we have not seen. You cannot be what you cannot see. And so our elders become that which we see, which we have been, and that which we can become. This is that proof in practice. In the African tradition, that's called the idea of proof and practice that conceptualize and manifest. The elders not only teach us principles, but they demonstrate those principles in their interactions with us and interactions with the community. The other thing is the silent command. We call it the Wijit Sekharu. The silent command. We are familiar with what I call the oral command. This is where I tell you to do something. I think this was alluded to early in the presentation when the brother said sometimes young people are like looking at elders. The only thing they're good for is kind of criticizing us. That's that verbal command. But the silent command is the command that you exert, the influence that you exert on others because of the majesty and the respect that you've earned by your own actions. I don't have to tell you, watch me. And in watching me, the spiritual power of what I'm doing and the manifestation of what comes from that is going to cause you to want to emulate it. If you think about it for just a minute, the people that you most emulate were not the people who sat and talked to you and talked to you and talked to you, but the people you saw do something that you were trying to do. And when you saw them doing what it is that you were trying to do, and you saw them doing it in a respectful manner and a powerful manner, and you saw the fruits of that labor, that was what you emulated. Now, unfortunately, in our community, that principle applies whether it's positive or negative. And we have lots of people and lots of institutions that are in place that are designed to give silent commands, if you will, to our youth and to other people in our community that are negative. It is time for us to cultivate, and thankfully this organization now begins to exist, that we can begin to exert the influence of respect and power silently to contradict the forces of negativity. That I just wanted to say, maybe in closing, in summary, how happy I am that this is happening. And that it is so important for the reasons we're talking about, because there are forces beyond us who would not see our rise, who would not see our return to consciousness, because they understand that that ultimately will be their demise. I am happy that you are here. I'm happy that you've taken on this responsibility. I am so honored to have been asked to be here.
Ashe, ashe, ashe,
Ashe, ashe.
Hey,
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Nikita. That was great. And we look forward to your full presentation. This is some activities that the Council of Elders in Wichita have done. So I'm just going to show you guys a short clip. Someone took this with their cell phone.
Of our people worldwide to seek the wisdom and the guidance of our elders. I request respectfully that you join me in acknowledging the presiding elder, Elder Alberta, our elders and our ancestors. If I could have the scribes and associate elders in the room to please rise. I'd like to now have the rest of the community to please stand and join us in the ceremonial seating of the elders, led by our Queen Mother.
They have found strength in the Creator's grace and support in our community. They have demonstrated through their personal actions of love, devotion, and dedication toward our community and toward one another. Now they ask that they be recognized for the progress they have made in their spiritual formation, and that they receive the assurance of our blessings and prayers as they go forth to the rites of passage as in stewards in this celebration today.
Please come forward as your name is called, accompanied by your sponsor. This rites of passage into the Council of Elders. According to the testimony of the witness in the community, you have been found ready, willing, and able to commit yourself to continued service towards your fellow elders, towards this community, and towards the Creator. Are you ready, willing, and able to support the core values of the Council of Elders based on the 7 principles of Kwanzaa: unity in the family, community, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, corporate and economic purpose, creativity, and faith?
I am ready, willing, and able to make this commitment.
Are you ready, willing, and able to serve and transmit to youth and the community our history, tradition, contribution, and gifts of people of African descent?
I am ready, willing, and able to make this commitment.
Are you ready, willing, and able to serve as a role model to our youth in the African American community and other communities, and to instruct, support, and guide them in responsible leadership?
I am ready, willing, and able to make this commitment.
Are you ready, willing, and able to provide our youth and our people wisdom, direction in their struggle for freedom, justice, equity, and truth?
I am ready, willing, and able to make this commitment.
At this time, I would ask all new associates and scribes, please come forward.
The associate elders come into the Council of Elders from 50 to 60. They are our real foot soldiers. They're the ones who are still working and in the community, who bring us the real core issues that are important to us for us to know. The scribes are under 50, and they are the younger groups that actually, again, function as our eyes and ears in the community and what's important to us. And they do the heavy lifting and all the other stuff that the elders cannot do. But they also have, this is their rites of passage as scribes to be around the elders, to know what it means to be an elder and our responsibility to our village, as well as the associates are in their rites of passage as they go into eldership once they turn 60. So we welcome and we congratulate our new associates and our new scribes into the Council of Elders as well.
So Herschel, we'll start up.
Yes, I appreciate it, and thank you all. I'll take the time to say that we'll pick this up this evening around the Permanent Forum of People of African Descent in Geneva. We sent delegates. We were participating. It's a 7-year-long work that got done August 2nd, 2021, and we look forward to the National Black Council of Elders instituting internationally. We set the stage for you to be the model for the world. And your presiding elders and queen mothers, you set the standard for the world based on the executive order that the president issued, that gave us power unlike we've ever had. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Justin from Nigeria, our youth, can you say, take a minute to say a few thoughts as it.
Abari is a Jone from Lagos, Nigeria.
Moja Habari Gani.
In the presence of such, I do not take any of this for granted. Presiding Elder Kabaila and my queen mothers, all other protocols duly observed. My name is Justin Enahoro Adelusi Adeluyi. I am the future of leadership in my home country, Nigeria, and I believe that despite the state of affairs, that Nigeria, my home country, shall be great again. I am here to speak on the qualities of respecting elders. Africa, my continent, one of our main assets is our culture. And then in the African culture, whether you're Nigerian, whether you're South African, whether you're Sierra Leonean, whether you're Ghanaian, it's mandatory that as a young folk, you have respect and love and empathy for the elders. When we respect our elders, we get to learn some new things, both from their experiences in life and from their past experiences, basically, their vast knowledge. And because of the fact that the people who are older than us would predominantly be more intelligent, more experienced. And if we do not respect them, then we cannot learn from them. You know, in today's time, young folks studying in school do not respect teachers. They don't respect their elders. Respect their elders are able to achieve success sooner because they are accompanied by the elders. All right, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Asante Sana.
Asante Asana. All right, Joshua with the Africa Youth and Tourism.
Yes, good evening everywhere. It's evening in Ghana. Kwanzaa, just Kwanzaa to everyone on the call. My name is Joshua. I represent African Youth and Tourism Network as the founder. I'm very glad to be here today for this meeting, and this Kwanzaa celebration is a great thing to see that we as Africans, we still find ways to uphold our culture, build pillars, build institutions, like the professor that spoke earlier said. So regarding my view about Kwanzaa and the elders, I think this is a very great initiative for the National Black Council of Elders to come up with the idea of setting up a council of elders across the African diaspora. So this is very great. We'll look forward to see how we can keep this rolling and making sure that the objectives are being met. Looking at our African culture before the invasion of the colonialists and the white people that brought in slavery and some of the setbacks we have today in Africa. Before now, we had this principle of Ma'at, which was spoken of before. And in Ma'at, we tend to see that we have to respect our elders. Our elders are a very functional part of our society. They were here before us, the teachers, we learn from them. And as they grow elderly, we're supposed to help them from the knowledge we've had. So it's a very great initiative. I would like to see how we work together to keep building our culture and a greater Africa. Joyous Kwanzaa to everyone. Asante for having me here. Cheers.
Lafia, Hotep, Bargani, and Sawubona. My name is Akil Kafani. I am coming here in support of the National Black Council of Elders, first major Kwanzaa celebration nationally, and supporting us to do the work that we need to do to transform the world around us. I'm a professor of sociology and African studies here in New Jersey at Essex County College, and author and TV host, but most importantly, a strong advocate for our future, a strong advocate for our youth, a strong advocate for working in developing positive Pan-African experiences for our people so that we can build on the footsteps and the footprints of those who came before us, and that we need to create those same kinds of footprints for the youth, because we want to create space for them to be the ones that are creating. We're going to be here looking at Kwanzaa and thinking about the importance of the principles and the ideas. However, the main thing we want to share and to build on is that we have an opportunity to connect the generations. And as we connect the generations, we need to make sure that the young folks know that we're here for them. We may not always agree on every step that we take, but we want you to build footprints for those who are coming after you. So this is about Sankofa. This is about Ubuntu. This is about Ma'at. And together we're going to transform the world around us, as many have come before us and done similar things. Now we have to catapult our efforts to a whole new level. And I know that working together across the country, across the world, that we will do that. I ask you to join us in celebrating this festive Kwanzaa season, and know that this season is one that extends throughout the entire calendar. So we're going to be celebrating African history, culture, and experiences and spirituality 365 days until the next cycle. So I'll talk with you soon. And once again, this is Dr. Akil Kafani. Peace. Hotep.
Ashe.
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 All right, so this is our theme song for Kwanzaa. It's beautiful. So just take a few minutes to listen to the lyrics, vibe with the music to help you understand what Kwanzaa is all about.
Emoja unity, to strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. Kujichagulia, self-determination, to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. Ujima, collective work and responsibility, to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems to solve together. Ujamaa, cooperative economics, to build and maintain our stores, shops, and other businesses and profit from them together. Nia, purpose, to make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. Kaumba, creativity, to always do as much as we can in any way that we can to leave our communities more beautiful and beneficial than when we inherited it. Imani, faith, to believe with all of our hearts in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. I'm living Kwanzaa and Ngusa Saba. Every day living Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa every day. I'm living Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa. as one. Kwanzaa, I'm living Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa every day. I'm living Kwanzaa. I'm living
Ashe. Ashe.
Ashe.
Yes, yes, yes. Living Kwanzaa every day. Okay, Kwanzaa is a 7-day celebration from December 26th to January 1st that celebrates African American culture, history, and supports important principles rooted in African culture. Kwanzaa gets its name from the Swahili phrase Matunda ya Kwanzaa and is rooted in the first fruit celebrations, which are from Africa in both ancient and modern times.
Kwanzaa is a time for remembrance, reflection, and renewal, a time for us to consider as individuals and as a collective community where we've been, where we are, and the beautiful landscape before us for who we can become and what we can build individually and collectively.
So it's a collective holiday based in Pan-African culture, based in African roots. The Pan-African holiday was created in 1966 by Dr. Malana Karenga, and it is a community and family-based annual celebration which incorporates African and African American practices together. So this is truly Pan-Africanism where we're blending both cultures together. Dr. Karenga started this right after the Watts riots that took place. If you guys in Africa, you may not know, there was a lot of civil unrest here in the 60s. And here in Los Angeles, in a place called Watts, the Black people revolted and rioted. And so Dr. Karenga wanted to create a holiday based in African roots that we could hold on to and learn more about our own culture as people of African descent. This is Dr. Karenga and his wife and some community members celebrating Kwanzaa. That is the founder of Kwanzaa. Where is Kwanzaa celebrated? Kwanzaa was first launched in the US, but now celebrated all over the world. So the next 7 days, there will be celebrations, personal celebrations, public celebrations here in the United States. Also, the African diaspora in Britain and France are celebrating Kwanzaa. In Africa, they celebrate Kwanzaa. You will find it in South Africa and different African countries. It's also celebrated in Brazil, Jamaica, and in Canada. These are the 7 days of Kwanzaa. It starts on the 26th. Then we have the 27th, the 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, up to January 1st. Those are the 7 days. So now we're going to get into the principles of Kwanzaa, the 7 principles, which is called Nguzo Saba. Again, that's a Kiswahili word. On each of the 7 days of Kwanzaa, people greet each other by asking habari gani. That's a Swahili word, which means, you know, what's the news of the day? And then the response, how you respond during Kwanzaa, is whatever that principle is for the day, then that is the news. So today on day 1 is Umoja, is Unity Day. So you would respond about unity.
Barigani, what's the news of the day? On this, the first day of Kwanzaa, Umoja Unity is the news of the day.
Day 1 Kwanzaa principle, Umoja. Umoja means to maintain our unity in our families, our communities, nations, and cultures. So today should be a day we focus on unity. How can we come together? Which you see we've come together so beautifully today.
Abaragani. Hello, brothers and sisters. I am Reverend Titus James, presiding elder for the Council of Elders here in Wichita. Unity for me is a great Kwanzaa principle, for it means that we are one, or we are supposed to work to be one and live as one. And that unity is important. And I will do what I can to promote unity. I'll pray for unity. I will live in unity. I will love in unity and work in unity with any and all people who will work for the good of everybody else. This is New Year practice I will maintain and work for unity to build up my community. Harambe, this means let's pull together. Habaragani, let's have unity.
Habarigani, what's the news? Umoja means unity. Kwanzaa is one of my favorite holidays. I think I was probably younger than Stella here when we started celebrating Kwanzaa, and it's just one of the rich traditions that has stuck with me. The first day of Kwanzaa is Umoja. And what does Umoja mean, Stella? In my family and in my community. Happy Kwanzaa!
Habarigani. On this first day of Kwanzaa, we celebrate Umoja, which is unity. For me, unity is the importance of togetherness for family and community. Like the African proverb, I am because we are. From all of us, with the African American Council of Elders, Wichita, South Central Kansas, we wish you a happy Kwanzaa and every good thing in the new year. Harambe, let's pull together. Happy Kwanzaa!
Day 2 is Kujichagulia. That's a tongue twister. Kujichagulia. That is self-determination, to define ourselves, to name ourselves, to create for ourselves and speak for ourselves. When I went to Ghana last year and got installed as a Queen Mother, I was given a Ghanaian name. So my name is Nana Adjua Akwesiwa the First. So I am renaming myself from my slave master name and defining myself. And that is what the National Black Council of Elders is doing as well. Day 3 principle is Ujima, and that's collective work and responsibility. So to build our communities together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems. Let's solve them together. So that is, again, based in communal activities in Africa, where you take care of your elders, you take care of each other, make sure your brothers and sisters have food to eat. That is Ujima. Day 4 principle is Ujamaa, and that's cooperative economics. So to maintain and to buy and maintain our own stores, to shop with each other and do business with each other so we can profit and from each other, can we be sustainable? So even if you have a little, just buying from your fellow Black business to help, empower them, that can go so far, so then they can continue to hire people and we create cooperative economics that way. Also, if you look back in like the early 1900s, the African slaves that came out here to America, they were able to build wealth by cooperative economics. They bought supermarkets and each one shopped with each other. They had banks and so forth. People here in America, unfortunately, the white Americans destroyed it. But the principle of cooperative economics definitely works for Black people. So we need to get back on how can we do business with one another cooperatively. Day 5 Kwanzaa principle is Nia, which is purpose, to make our collective vocation, like developing our communities to restore our people to their traditional way, the African way. We've got elders here feeding people, and that is one of the principles of Nia. Day 6, we will celebrate Kumba, and that is creativity. So to do as much as we can as Pan-African people to leave our community beautiful and beneficial than what we had in the first place. So how can we beautify our surroundings, plant wonderful gardens, make music that Pan-Africans can enjoy and love? That is Kumba on day 6. And our last day is day 7, which is Imani, and that means faith. To believe with all our hearts in our great creator, our families, our communities, parents and leaders, and most of all, our culture. And Kwanzaa celebrates the Pan-African culture. Some traditions during Kwanzaa that people use is you can light candles in the Kinara, that is a candle holder, and in recognition of the 7 principles. Families and communities place 1 ear of corn for each child they have under the Kinara, under the candle holder. Also, people put fruit baskets in a unity cup on a straw mat that holds the Kinara. And earlier, Queen Mother Amaku showed us her unity cup. It is also tradition with the Kwanzaa holiday to hold a feast that celebrates cultural expression. So a lot of this food that is provided come from Africa. You know, you may have spicy foods, meat, okra, different things like that. This is a time to celebrate Pan-African food, African-American food, and so forth. People play music, they tell stories. We've seen some of that throughout the day, and they make crafts too at the feast. Another tradition of Kwanzaa is making handmade gifts as opposed to buying store-bought gifts, because that just shows your appreciation and your Kumba, your creativity. Kwanzaa values. Some of the Kwanzaa values, we covered the principles, but the values are family. That is very common in Africa, where they hold on to family. I'm adopted now into a Ghana family. So because Kwanzaa spans 7 days, usually family groups or a group of friends takes turns having a celebration for that day in their home. Community is another value. Different community organizations each day take a day to sponsor a Kwanzaa principle. That's what we're doing now, and we will continue to do for the next 6 days. So this is what a feast on Imani, what it may look like. It's lots of fruits, and you see all that different meats and spice. Kwanzaa symbols, some of the symbols, crops. Crops is like a main symbol used because, again, this is a first fruit celebration modeled after the African traditions. So crops represents the historical roots of African Americans in culture and their reward for collective labor. Also, another symbol is the placemat, the mkeka, and that lays down the foundation for self-actualization. Then we have the unity cup. Then some more symbols, the ear of corn. And then the Kinara is the candle holder, like I said. And that reminds us of our ancestral origins in any of the 55 countries. So with that candle holder, there's 7 candles that go inside the Kinara. And they remind participants of the 7 Kwanzaa principles and the colors of the flag in African liberation. You guys know Marcus Garvey came up with the colors for the African diaspora of red, black, and green, the colors that Dr. Karenga uses. What is the Kinara? The word Kinara is a Swahili word for candle holder. And the Kinara is mostly used as the centerpiece on a table decorated with the harvest symbols of Kwanzaa, like the corn and the mat and the cup. This is the order the candles are lit over the 7-day celebration. So today is Umoja. That's when you would light the main candle, the black one. Then you go to Kujichagulia, and then Ujima. Then you would go to the Ujama, and then you go over to the green side and you have Nia, which was purpose, we talked about. Kumba on the 6th day, Imani, faith on the last day. With giving a Kwanzaa gift, that's called zawadi in Swahili, and that represents commitments of the parents for their children. Again, like I said, gifts are usually handmade and they're not store-bought, so people make things like jewelry. You may want to use African beads, cowrie shells, healing stones. Those are some suggestions. Also, doing arts and crafts with your kids, say on Creativity Day, on Kumba, or whenever, just celebrating Kwanzaa. Incorporate these colors of black, red, and green now that you know what they symbolize. You know, put it in your collages, your placemats. Select a book for your children. It'd be a book about Black history, Afrocentric type of books. Also, music. Listen to music about Kwanzaa, like we did earlier, in African drumming, kora music, any type of Pan-African sound. I am going to play this music, this ancestral hymn, with a powerful spoken word piece by our featured poet. And if you want to chant this while you listen to her poetry or just listen and vibe, it's a healing song for our ancestors.
Find it. Catch it. Taste it. Hold it. I dare you. Please. Make a move. Shift the ground from our feet. Steer continental plates. Rattle the silence from the leaves. I dare you. Whisper through the wire. While our imaginations focused, impart images that present power with purpose. Lasso these notions. I dare you. Redeem your being. Uplift us high. Shift positions. Lift our vision. Change our minds. Rise. Fly the rising moon. Stir the waning storm. Swallow dimming clouds. Brushstroke the town. Or just celestial cities with your fallen stardust. So we could read the writing on the walls you have yet to scratch. The surface. Come back to the surface. Please. I dare you. There are no hieroglyphics, no paper to trace, no material body left. Just a spiritual host, a physical vessel, a sentient temple. Life so temperamental, some psychic hoax. So you smile down at me. I notice your face and the unaffected tears of sages. Sensitive to your sentiment, the essence of your presence sways my mind outside of itself as I sense the fragrance of your familiar that I can now remember, playing over and over and over right here in this place where the unborn and the dead are together, where the grave and the womb are one, and the new moon co-creates with the rising sun. You had to die so we could love you again.
Please always give credit to Iya Odunfonda,
Ask the one
who taught
named
me
Lauren.
this
Sorry,
and use this
Miss
to
Hill.
help the ancestors,
Trayvon
help
Martin.
those who are floating to enter the land
Kimani
of the
Gray.
ancestors. Ashe,
Philando Castile. Sandra Bland. Charlena Lyles. Eric Gardner. George Floyd. Breonna Taylor. Ayanna Dior. Not even death could divide us. So go. Go in peace. I dare you.
Very, very powerful. Some activities to do with your grandchildren. Read to them about Kwanzaa, read to them about Pan-African culture, teach them about African-American history, Ashe. African folk tales can be read aloud and used for inspiration to create your own stories. This is also a good time to share stories of your family and your personal history. Other Kwanzaa activities include singing and drumming, praying, storytelling. Let's hear our stories from our elders. As a first fruit celebration, this is a time to reflect on the new season. We're going into the new year. So what can we do differently? How can we achieve more harvest? How can we bring more unity in our life and in our communities? Here's some helpful resources. The official Kwanzaa site that Dr. Karenga started is officialkwanzaawebsite.org. All right, let's hear Kwanzaa from the children.
Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, let's celebrate Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, let's celebrate Kwanzaa. Umoja, Umoja, let's celebrate unity. Let's celebrate self-eating and nation. That part. Ujima, Ujima, let's celebrate collective work and responsibility. Ujama, Ujama, let's celebrate cooperative economics.
Nia, Nia, let's celebrate purpose. Kuamba, Kuamba, let's celebrate creativity.
Amani, Amani, let's celebrate faith. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, let's celebrate Kwanzaa.
Thank you officially for attending the National Black Council of Elders and Kwanzaa celebration. For partnerships or media brand opportunities, you can contact me. There's my contact information, transmedia360@gmail.com.
Let me just say, everybody go to the website, please, and register. You can register at the website, and you can leave all your information there, and you can make comments, and you can have your own account on the National Black Council of Elders website. Yay!
Can I make one last announcement? Please. So the Association of Black Psychologists are offering holiday healing circles, because there may be people that you know who are struggling with this holiday for whatever reason.
I want to say, Asante Sana, thank you very much to Queen Mother Nina for pulling this together really in the last 2 or 3 weeks. And you can see the beautiful presentation that she has put together in such a short time. I wanted to say Asante Sana to you again for all your great work.
Okay, we've got Dr. Aluyo.
Thank you very much. Greetings from New Jersey. I want to say thank you to my brother and great friend, Dr. Kalfani, for inviting me onto this. My first time here, I was hearing about the Elders Forum, which is incredible. I must say thank you for such a great work. I am a physician. I'm also assistant professor at Rutgers University, New Jersey Medical School, and also the chief medical officer of the Newark Community Health Centers here in Newark, New Jersey, where we cover 7 centers across Essex County in New Jersey.
Well, Queen Mother Nina, kudos to you for this wonderful, powerful program and this wonderful way of being able to introduce us to the world. I applaud all of your hard work and being able to chase after these elders, which was like herding cats, I know.
Yes.
You did such a beautiful job, and I thank you. Duau, duau. And I see Sister Munira is here. Thank you so much for being here. She is a wonderful, powerful local activist here in Newark. And I was so very happy to see her here. And Newark was in the house, and we also had a lot of other folks who follow Shenu Kemetic Ministries, and so give thanks and praise. Presiding Elder Kabaila, I'm so First of all, I can't tell you how grateful and humbled I was when you asked me to be part of this council. I have to agree with Mother Amina said earlier about feeling like I belong. It's almost as though all these years with all the work that I've put in and having all this knowledge that has been stored up that has to be poured into something with others who have the same passion now has a purpose. And so all I can say is thank you. This vision that you've had based off of what you saw that the Wichita elders have because of their vision and also because of Queen Mother Masakila and her vision from her book. How about all of this and the ancestors whispering into all of you? We all just need some applause. We really do. I love you all, and I'm just so very grateful.
Queen Mother, Womack, you set the table, and Baba Kabaile dressed the table, and all the rest of you all. This is momentum, and I think now the key though is that we've got to keep the momentum going.
Can I just thank Mr. Kabila and Herschel Daniels and Queen Mother and everyone again. This is Doc Jones, and I can't tell you how happy I am and how thankful I am for what all of you have been doing. And thank you, especially Mr. Kabila, for making certain that I knew about this and how I would be able to follow along and participate somewhat today.
Say thank you guys for this opportunity, and thank you for the National Black Council. And I hope to see you guys grow.
Keep in mind that the Council of Elders includes the whole community. We are representative of the whole community, and we invite the whole community to join us in community building and nation building. So we're not just restricted to elders in the organization. As you can see in the presentations that Queen Mother Nina did, all ages are able to participate in the work that we do. Everybody put your right hand up in the air, and we're going to pull down 7 times for Harambe. Harambe is a African term that means let's all pull together. So on the count of 1, 2, 3 in Swahili is Jali 2. Jali 2. Harambe. 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 Last one, hold that. Harambe. Great job, everybody. Great job.
Concrete babies, walking through wombs of moms, carrying torches, looking for freedom through the marble eyes of a microwave generation. Beep, beep, they want it right now. Beep, beep is already there, you see. Playgrounds used to be grass and trees with tires hanging from trees, swinging high, swinging low to Earth's vibrations, now dead, solid, covered in concrete with playground scraping knees. You see, concrete babies just get up and sit motionless before technology's eyes entering into cyberspace. Who's watching who? Delete. Who's watching who? Completely delete. You see, saving is not really saving for you. It's in the backup folder for Big Brother to use when you fly high to bring you back down to its every need. Cancerous babies, toxic ways of technology and sunken faces. Who's gonna save the babies? Who's gonna save the babies? Miseducations and disgraces of dignity now gone. Mad and hating your own kind. Mad and snapping with a trigger. I'm gonna kill you. Another piece of me now gone, filled with more hate. Is it too late to save our babies? Priests breaking vows to seduce and abuse children, fighting wars at 10, 11, and 12 years old. Full-blown age babies, incest and molestation. Tell me, who's gonna save our babies? You see, the innermost thoughts of my mind sometimes seems to wander from time to time to places I've never been but seek to find. And even if you love me less, even if I love you less, it would still be more than you know.
Who's gonna save our babies? Who's gonna save the children, yeah?
So, we are going to talk about breathing and the importance of doing deep breathing on a regular basis. Breathing is taking in oxygen. So, I'm going to go science on you for a minute. It's not about anything but plain science. You cannot live without oxygen. How do you get oxygen? You breathe it in. So most people don't do enough deep breathing, but they live their lives only doing shallow breathing, or if they smoke, they really don't do any real. Anyway, that's a whole nother subject. We won't go there. We'll just talk about breathing, the importance of taking deep abdominal breaths daily, many times during the day. You can do it while you're driving. You can do it while you're at work. You can do it while you're walking through the grocery store. You can do it while you're talking on the phone. There is nothing that should ever stop you from taking deep breaths. You don't need to just come to a screeching halt and hang up the phone or go take a break like you do when you meditate. When you meditate, yeah, that's your time apart. But deep breathing can be done anytime. So even in between each sentence that I'm speaking, I'm doing deep breathing, deep abdominal breathing, and that's the other key, is that you have to do deep abdominal breathing. And that means that when you breathe, you're activating your core, which is your abdominal muscles. So when you breathe in properly through your nose, because the nose has nostril hairs that trap impurities, the mouth and the throat don't. So we were designed to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose so those impurities don't get in our lungs. So when you breathe, the best thing to do is be sitting straight. If you're driving, you should be sitting straight anyway. If you're at work, you should be sitting straight. If you're watching TV, you should be sitting straight. So all of those, at any time, you can, whatever you're doing, just take in a deep breath through your nose. The key is through the nose, like so, as you expand the abdomen and then the chest, not a shoulder breathing like a lot of people do. It's not the shoulders, it's the abdomen. Breathe in deep, expand the abdomen, and then exhale slowly and deep as you contract the abdominal muscles. So it does a multitude of things. The deep breathing gives you fresh oxygen that your blood needs, your heart needs, your brain needs. Every part of your body has to have oxygen. The brain is electric. Electricity is fire. How do you put out a fire? Stop giving it oxygen. How do you fuel a fire? Remember the olden days, they had the little thingamajiggy, I don't know what it's called, but it's a thingamajiggy that they would pump air to make the fire get bigger. It's the oxygen that fires the brain. You have to have oxygen for everything. Every cell in your body needs oxygen. So the continued deep breathing all day, every day, is what we need to stay healthy, to stay vibrant. It's also called the life force because it is oxygen. Oxygen is powerful. Deep breathe all day. And then when you have a moment at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day, at lunchtime, on break, stop and center yourself. Take some deep breaths in through your nose. Somebody makes you angry, which that's a whole nother subject, that's impossible. Nobody can make you angry. But when you get angry because of something, That's why they say stop and count to 10. So while you're counting to 10, take some deep cleansing breaths. And it relaxes you, it calms you as it's fueling your body. Thank you for the moment with Oshunye about breathing.
Abaragani, brothers and sisters of Mother Africa. I am Prophet Anyanu Cox, a charter member of the National Black Council of Elders, and ambassador for community health, healing, and family strengthening. We at the Council of Elders invite you to enjoy the benefits of a Council of Elders in your own community. Contact our national office and receive your very own Council of Elders Startup Kit. It comes complete with a hard copy of the Council of Elders Startup Manual and Kente Strip, straight from Ghana. We look forward to you joining us, and you gain access to our online resource materials. We provide support for you conducting healing circles in your community, and so much more. We look forward to hearing from you, and happy Kwanzaa. Habaragani.